Editor with Guardian Arms here, and what I have for you today is actually pretty cool. I have in front of me a Shield Arms S15 magazine. Reason why I'm a little excited about having this magazine is I've been wanting to get my hands on it for about 2 months now. If you don't know about the S15 magazine, it's made by a third-party company. It's made by Shield Arms, and it was designed for the Glock 43X and Glock 48. The Glock 43X and 48 are single stack 9mm pistols, mainly used for concealed carrying. I know I recently switched to the Glock 43X and 48 for carry about a month and a half ago, and with that change I was looking for aftermarket parts, just stuff that I think that I could take a look at or install to see how they would work out. And I came across the Shield Arms website through a friend, and when I went to buy the magazines, they were sold out. About a week ago, a buddy of mine calls me and says, "Hey, Shield Arms has them in stock." I jump on the website and I was able to get my hands on 2 of them. Again, if I didn't cover it, this magazine was designed to carry 15 rounds, and the benefit of this magazine is it's a competitor to the Glock standard mag, which only holds 10 rounds. So a lot of you that carry 9mm that aren't used to the low round count of a 10 round magazine, you can now carry a Glock 43X or Glock 48 and a 15+1. You can carry 16 rounds total, which is a game changer, especially with people complaining. A lot of Glock lovers like myself, I'm a Glock fanboy. I've watched the Springfield Hellcat come out, I've seen the P365 XL come out, and they have a pretty decent round count. And I'm over here with my 43X going, man, I really love how this feels in my pants. It's really comfortable. I can carry it all day. I forget that it's there, but I'm packing 10 rounds, and now that I have my hands on these magazines, I'm pretty excited. So I actually started reviewing these magazines yesterday. I had to find out the hard way that the iPhone doesn't talk to my PC that well, so a lot of the footage that I had yesterday didn't transfer over. Fortunately for me, a lot of the range stuff and a lot of the shooting was saved, and I was able to transfer it over. Yesterday I went out, tested these magazines. I shot about 650 rounds through both magazines, so about 300 to 325 rounds a piece from both the 43X and the 48. And the magazines did great. The area where I was, it's covered in volcanic ash, so with me shooting and dumping magazines on the ground, even with that fine dirt, or sand I should say, whatever volcanic ash comes closer to, they performed great up until I started torture testing. But before I get to the torture testing, I ran a bunch of different drills through these magazines. I ran speed reloads. I ran opening up with the first couple shots on this magazine. I went 15 rounds or 16 rounds of slow fire, and then picked it up, started shooting a little quicker. No problems whatsoever. When I was shooting, I had no failure feeds. I had no failures in the gun whatsoever that would have been caused by the magazine. I did some shooting and moving, just getting rounds through these magazines to see how they would hold up. I even shot the gun in what I would call a homing status, sideways, to see if it would feed. The gun did feed. I shot the gun upside down and it fed, it worked. no stoppages, no malfunctions. I shot it canted to the right on a weird angle. It held up fine. It did great. Wasn't until again, and before torture testing, I was dropping magazines on the ground while doing speed reloads. They were getting a little bit dirty and still held up fine. Yeah. When we got to torture testing, I dropped one of the magazines into volcanic ash. And I mean, I just dropped it and then I kicked it around on the ground and went to load it. It loaded just fine. When I was loading, you could actually hear a crunch in the magazine from the fine dust that was inside. Inserted the magazine. When I went to shoot it, it didn't operate, didn't feed. I had a malfunction, so I removed the magazine, I shook the magazine, and rounds came out. And towards the center of the magazine, there was about 3 or 4 rounds that were stuck together, and I smacked it. I smacked the magazine on my hand, on my palm. They didn't come loose. I smacked the magazine on the tailgate of my truck, metal to metal. Didn't come loose. When I had actually started to lose hope that the magazine was going to work again, I shook it, and those rounds came loose and popped right back.
See that? Did you catch that?
I inserted that magazine again, and it worked. It fired around, I believe, and then it caused a failure to feed on the next round. In the magazine's defense, it was extremely dirty, more dirty than I think I would ever get any magazine, or that I could try to come up with a scenario where any magazine would ever get that dirty. But I'm reviewing the gear that I'm going to carry. I want to know where its failure point is. So it failed, yes, for a little bit, but with a little shaking, it came right back. And this is caked in dust. After it came back, I had a couple malfunctions, nothing too major, but it pushed through with how dirty it was. After I was done shooting, I brought the magazine home and took it apart to clean it. One cool thing about this magazine is, one thing that I forgot, I torture tested a Glock magazine as well, and the Glock magazine, this 10-round polymer magazine, actually held up like a champ. I ran it through the dust as well. I kicked it around the ground, and it worked. I couldn't believe that it worked, so I did it again a second time, and it still worked. So kudos to Glock. But going back to the magazine, to the S15 magazine, when I brought it home and I took it apart, it was extremely easy to take apart. Glock magazines are a pain in the butt when you're taking that bottom base plate off, but the S15 magazine was extremely easy to take apart. Took it apart, I looked inside and it was just caked in dust. I ran a brush through it, all the dust started coming out, and it was extremely easy to clean. I was able to lube the spring back up after I cleaned it. I put a little bit of CLP on the spring, and put it back together. The magazine has held up great even after cleaning. So I didn't get it on video, but today in the morning I shot off some more rounds after cleaning the magazines, and I had zero failures, zero malfunctions. The magazine held up great. So I hope that this review was helpful if you're planning on getting the S15 magazine from Shield. And if you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out, message us. We have a Facebook page that you can message us on. It's Guardian Arms Training on Facebook, and we are also available on Instagram. If you're new to this channel and you're liking what you're seeing, please subscribe. Hit the bell notification so that you can be notified when we upload something new. And again, we look forward to bringing you the best gear that we can get our hands on. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye. What do you think? Yeah? You see that magazine? That's the dirty one.